Do you see a lot of violence in jail or rape or fight?
Don't drop the soaps. If the BBC, who hate me, after 1.5 years of investigation, after throwing me in jail, after investigating every single part of my life, they make this indictment saying this is why Tristan's guilty. And the BBC get their hands on it and they read it. And the worst is, I'm a slave owner?
If I were to ask you, Tristan, I'm about to get married. What advice would you have for me? If I could ask you like 3 questions, what should every person ask a potential spouse?
Knowing about her very important. You know, if she don't marry her.
Someone's trying to find their purpose in life. How do you suggest them to go about finding their purpose? Are there any YouTubers we'd see you fighting with?
And thinking about building a Tate center.
What are your thoughts on Islam as a religion?
The 5 pillars of Islam is your declaration of faith.
Yeah. Now that you just got released from house arrest, do you think that's like a good sign that like things are going in the right direction?
I said what I said. I'm the fucking big boss. I make all the money. So if I say, bitch, make me a cup of coffee in the morning, she better bring it. This was completely unplanned. It was a random interview, middle of nowhere.
You once had a job.
Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to let you guys know before you get into this video that this is the first podcast with Tristan Tate that was completely unplanned, not in any studio, sitting on his couch in his home in Romania, in his natural habitat, smoking a cigar. We get to uncover the true Tristan Tate and get to talk to him with his guard down. If you guys see this video and if you guys enjoy it, please leave a like on it. I hate to ask you, but it really helps the YouTube algorithm. Also guys, I have an insane vlog, day in the life, coming out with Andrew Tate, some very exclusive video, and in the video there's a lot of conversation that might get the video taken down. I want you guys, if you guys want to see it, to subscribe to this channel so as soon as it launches you watch it before YouTube removes it. Thank you guys, hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Love you all.
Job selling insulated conservatories.
Yeah, conservatory roof insulation.
What's that about?
Bullshit. You knock on doors, people have conservatory rooms with glass ceilings. They're too hot or they're too cold in the winter. And you sell a ceiling insulation product. I used to make $1,500 a week. Wasn't bad for...
Very good. Above average. Way above average.
It was above average for when I was 22 at the time. 23.
Nice. Proper hustler, huh? Don't through it.
I've been through it, man. Worked at McDonald's. I worked in fast food.
McDonald's?
Yeah. Used to make the burgers. Work in the drive-thru.
No way.
Come a long way since then.
Goddamn.
Got a little bit more money nowadays.
A little bit, huh?
little bit more.
If you could tell yourself something at that time, what would you say? Like, chill, bro, you got this, or what do you say?
No, you know, I don't believe in when people say if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't tell him anything because I like where I am today, and I feel like any cheat code I could have given myself or any little leg up I would have given myself means I wouldn't have learned the lessons to grow into the man that I became. I tell myself to call my parents more. Call your dad more, call your mom more. That's it. Besides that, nothing. I wouldn't change a thing.
That's good advice, though, for any you.
I made a bunch of stupid mistakes, said a bunch of stupid things, did a bunch of crappy jobs, wasted a lot of time. Done it all, but
don't regret it.
That's why I am where I am. That's why I am who I am. So don't regret any of it, ever.
That's true. We just asked Andrew, we're like, who are the 5 people, alive or dead, if you could sit with? But I mean, it's a quite thought-provoking one. It's a little bit loaded, so.
That is thought-provoking. Who would I sit with? Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, I love him. I read Meditations many times.
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Is that the a one-eye guy?
No, that's Horatio Nelson, but he might be at the table as well. Horatio Nelson is the one-eye guy.
Napoleon? Who's Napoleon?
Napoleon Bonaparte was the French emperor up until 1815, during the Second Restoration.
Now, what was his?
Greatest general of all time. Won more land battles than any general in human history. More than Alexander the Great, more than Julius Caesar, more than all of them put together. More than Hannibal Barca, more than everybody.
Interesting.
Who else? If I had 2 more people to sit with, alive or dead. Genghis Khan of the Mongol Empire.
Yeah, that guy's a G.
And besides him, one more. That'd be a very interesting dinner conversation. Well,
You'd fit in. I think you'd fit in.
Professor Stephen Hawking. I like to speak to somebody that much smarter than myself. I don't meet people, I mean, I'm not bragging, but day to day when I walk around the world, I never meet someone and think, wow, this guy's so much smarter
That's
than me.
true.
Whereas Professor Stephen Hawking was the next level of intelligent.
I don't even think I understand what the guy would say.
He's got his computer voice, he can speak.
No, I know he can speak, but like I feel like we're not understanding the words. I've heard him speak before, but his vernacular is like his vocabulary is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he talks about like crazy scientific.
Yep. So probably those 5 people. But I think it would be more interesting to have 5 different dinners, one-on-one with each of them, as opposed to having a mixed conversation.
Yeah, because then you can't really get to know it.
Yeah.
What did you ask, like Genghis Khan?
I'd like to understand his mindset. The mindset of everything in the world belongs to me and I'm going to take it. Because I feel like I've got that, but not like he did.
He had it, but he actually acted upon it. He took the steps towards it.
Very interesting character.
Yeah.
There's very few people alive that I'd want to sit with
Maybe
that I
Jay-Z.
won't be able to sit with. No, I believe that I will meet the people who I want to meet.
That's true.
People like Elon Musk, love to talk to him. Probably the...
Top E.
Well, I think hear me out. I think Elon Musk is the smartest man alive. And people say, no, he's not, because this person has a higher IQ, this person has a higher IQ. I believe intelligence is what your actual intellect is, and how you apply it to the real world. So, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, there's a kid in India who was found with an IQ of 183. Cool, he can pass an IQ test, but what's he done?
True.
What's he done? Nothing. He's just registered super high on an IQ test. So let's see where he is at 30 or 40, because there are people with high IQs who live and die completely flat broke, whereas Elon Musk has taken the intellect he has and applied it to the real world and become literally, quite literally, the most successful man in the world, and he's revolutionizing space travel and near Earth orbit and all that stuff. So how is he not the smartest man alive?
That's
you know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's smart, is he?
What has he done?
Yeah.
Show me that.
What's his bank balance? You know, what's his
businesses?
reach? What's his influence?
Yeah.
So I think Elon Musk may be the smartest man alive.
Literally, in every vertical now that I think of it, you're actually really right. Like, he has the influence, he has the, like, fame, you can say.
Yeah.
He has the
He's got the
fans.
success. He's got the money. He's got
Success,
the.
money.
He makes all the right moves. So
Entrepreneur. He's
Ma-
even an engineer.
I
Like,
know. Maybe the smartest man alive, in my opinion.
and, like, multifacets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
The jokes as well.
Yeah, he's got jokes.
And he's fucking hilarious.
And he has Asperger's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that in life, if you're trying to be very successful, you should go like the Elon Musk route, which is many fucking businesses that are like super different, or do you think you just pick one business and just go really
I
hard
think
in that?
different things work for different people.
Right.
Different things work for different people. I think for that, as long as you're playing to your strengths, that's what you should do. I mean, there are people. Let's take Floyd Mayweather. I've heard people laugh at Floyd Mayweather, be like, "Oh, Floyd Mayweather, he can't even
He's
read and
illiterate.
write properly." And I'm like, "Well, he became a billionaire.
That's true.
Still, so how dumb is he? If you're broke, saying, "Oh, Floyd Mayweather can't read or write," and he became a billionaire through not just fighting, but obviously owning his own promotions company. Again,
Yeah.
it's intellect applied to the real world. Does he have the same type of intellect as Elon Musk? No. Albert Einstein that once said, if you measure all the animals' intellect by their ability to climb trees, you'll have a goldfish in a bowl who will sit and believe his whole life that he's an idiot. You know?
Yeah,
You're
because-
measuring people on different
With
things.
the wrong test.
Yeah, so I mean, people like Floyd Mayweather, again, it's intellect applied to
Yeah.
the real world. So how is he not smarter than some brokey sitting at home
Facts.
being like, Floyd Mayweather's dumb? Is he dumb?
His boxing intellect, I guess, if you
Yeah.
analyze,
You have to be super smart to. You have to be a next level of intelligent to box like he does.
he's making millions of decisions
Yeah.
every millisecond while
Yeah.
he's tired, while he's getting hit.
Yeah. So
High
again,
pressure.
that's a real case of intellect applied as well. I
Yeah.
don't see how anyone could call him stupid. You know,
Facts.
there are lots of people online, lots of haters who will say to people like me and Andrew, "Oh, you two are just dumb. You're new money. You're this. You're that." I'm like, well, I've done all right, haven't I?
Yeah.
Plus, I think new money is a compliment.
Right. Me too. What do you get if you're old money?
When people say you're new money, they try and do it to try and cheapen you and act like you're somehow less than old money people. I'm like, let's rephrase it. Let's not call it new money anymore. I have to describe myself, but instead of saying I'm new money, I say I come from a family with nothing and I made hundreds of millions by myself. That's what new money means. So when you say it that way, it sounds super cool. Whereas an old money person
just
will
bored.
say, my father was the CEO or the owner of Mercedes and now I'm a billionaire because my father was rich.
I was born. That's what you
Yeah,
say.
I feel like new money is a compliment, and I know good old money people, good new money people, but I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an insult at all. So when people throw that insult at me, and you know who throws that insult at me?
Well, new money people. Old money people.
Poor people. I'm telling you, when you walk into a room with my net worth and you're with some old money people and some new money people, no one gives a shit. But it's broke people with no money
Oh, he's
that will
new
insult
money.
me and say, "Oh, you're new money." I'm like, "You're no money." Old money people like me. I got loads of old money friends, loads,
Yeah.
and they all
They
respect
respect
me.
you.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's-
you're like what my dad did
Yeah.
back in the day.
Exactly. It's poor people who will call you new money.
You're no money.
Yeah, they're no money. Who gives a shit what they think?
Yeah.
They got nothing.
It's interesting. If I had to ask you, we spoke a bit about it yesterday at the dinner table. What are your thoughts on Islam as a religion? I know that your brother converted and he stuck to it.
Well, I know a lot about Islam, obviously, because since my brother's conversion, I've read a lot of books on Islam.
Really?
My simple argument would be I understand Andrew's draw to it. Exactly like I'm saying about intellect applied is my idea of success and intelligence in a man. If you take worldview and apply it to society and look at how the society is working, you can say that Islam may be one of the most successful mindsets and mind views in the world
Like a way of life.
currently. And everyone's had its dark ages. Christian Europe has had its dark ages. Obviously, the Islamic world has had its dark ages, where things weren't going too smoothly, and that's the nature of the world. But if you look at today, and everything that's happening in the Middle East, the lack of drugs, the lack of rape, the lack of degeneracy, the lack of all these horrible things that I see in the West, then yeah, I absolutely get it, because it's a worldview that is shared by the culture and the people who live in a certain part of the world, and that part of the world is absolutely flourishing. So yeah, I mean, you can't argue with results.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Obviously,
the numbers speak.
Myself, I am a Christian, but
Yeah.
I have massive respect for the Muslim world, and obviously my brother and all my Muslim friends.
Yeah.
So I try to learn about the religion just out of respect for my brother, because I'm not going to have some idiot try and throw me off guard. Oh, your brother's a Muslim. What's the difference between Sunni and Shia? What are the four pillars of Islam? I'm not gonna sit there.
You know this.
I don't know. Of course I do. So the 5 pillars of Islam is your declaration of faith.
Yes.
It's prayer. It's charity. It's fasting during the month of Ramadan. And it's pilgrimage to Hajj. So I know all about the religion.
Why'd you?
Yeah, no, I've got to know. It's an important part of my brother's life. How am I not going to know about it?
True.
So I'm a knowledgeable man. I like to know things. So
Yeah.
I actually understand Islam. So when people don't understand it and they try and tell me something about it, I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you get that information from?
Yeah.
It's probably from some stupid far-right website. And like, people don't understand. you know?
Literally, they don't fact check. But
No, they don't.
I have an interesting question then.
Alright. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I have a really quick announcement to make. It's gonna go back to the podcast in just 10 seconds. A lot of you have been asking me, Ahmed, how do you make all your money? What do you do for a living? How do you afford this lifestyle? Well, I don't do e-com, I don't do SMMA, I don't do crypto. What I've been doing it since I was 13, and literally anyone can do it from anywhere around the world, no matter how much money they have, no matter how old they are. So yeah, if you want to do the same, I've made a video explaining literally exactly how I did it. Link is in the bio, it's completely free. Watch it, trust me, it's very interesting.
In the situation that you're in now, with all the shit that's going on, no one could say they have more struggles than you at the moment. What do you do, or what can you do to like free your mind from all of it? Because right now, I guess you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. What's your way of freeing your mind or like relaxing or?
I've worked my whole life to build a countenance in myself where I can handle the weight of the world on my shoulders. I don't think you can throw somebody who's unprepared into the kind of situations that I've been thrown into and then just deal with it. I don't think people are born like that necessarily, but I've built myself up over the years. I'm a very smart guy, I'm very strong, I'm physically fit, I'm mentally capable. So when I find myself in a situation like this, I think, okay, well, if I can't handle this, then who can?
Yeah.
So, and what choice do I have? What does not handling it look like? Hang myself, shoot myself, start taking drugs, drink myself to death like a lot of people would do?
Yeah.
Start crying my eyes out all the
You don't have
time,
a choice.
develop drug addictions? No, I can't do that. So I don't have a choice. So I only know how to deal with things one way, like a professional.
Yeah.
So whatever happens to me is whatever's going to happen to me.
Interesting. So I guess you don't journal or meditate. You
Not
right?
really.
No journaling.
Nah, not really. No, I don't
meditation.
journal, I don't meditate.
But I guess exercise is meditative in a sense.
It is. People meditate in different ways,
Yeah.
Spend time with my daughter, train. There are things that I do.
You're a
that-
family man, huh? I see the videos of you with your daughter. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And now they're trying to take you away from her.
exactly. For years. For what? For nothing. These people don't really care. These people are truly evil. I think the people who attack me and Andrew, they might not like everything I say, which is good.
Fine, fair enough.
I would hate to live in a world where everyone thought exactly like me.
Boring.
How uninteresting would that be and uninspiring? You'd never meet anyone you could have a conversation with or a debate with or have
Yeah.
a different point of view, and you'd never learn anything new.
Yeah.
I'll speak to people who know things I don't, maybe I disagree with, and they might change my mind.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
What I don't do is when I disagree with something somebody says, think, okay, well, I hope that person goes to jail. Let me try and use my power
Shit,
to lock
yeah.
them up. I think that is truly evil, especially
Yeah.
when they know that behind the scenes,
It's not
I've
true.
got my daughter. I'm trying to spend time with my family. I'm trying to help people. I mean, me and Andrew spend millions every year helping people all around the world.
I
And they,
saw.
And they want to throw me in
Tate
jail for what? Because they don't like what I say. It's stupid. I'm certainly not a human trafficker. That's just retarded.
Dumb as shit. No, I mean, it's crazy, but at the end of the day, I guess people are dumb.
Yeah, people are dumb. It's as simple as that. And they'd rather, instead of having somebody say things they disagree with, instead of listening to what that person has to say, there are people praying I go to jail. Praying.
Every day.
And I'm sure some of them are smart enough to know that all these charges are bullshit and know that this is just an attack from higher up and it's just being, orchestrated on me.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that those people go to jail. I really don't, unless they've committed a crime. I don't want them silenced. I don't want them thrown in jail.
Yeah.
So when you look at
You
history,
don't think about them even.
no, because when you look at history, the people who want the other side silenced and want the other people's opinions silenced, want people's tongues cut out, and want things banned and censored, they're never the good guys ever. After
Yeah,
100 years of
that's
learning,
true.
they never turn out to be the good
Even
guys.
Prophet Muhammad, they threw stones at him.
Exactly.
They used to throw the trash at him when he walked the street. He's talking about kindness and empathy, and
Yep.
they throw his trash at him.
Yep.
And one day, you know what happened? This lady always used to throw trash from his balcony. And one day he's walking and he realizes as he passes by that street that there's no trash thrown on him. You know what he does? He goes and checks up on her. He's like, where is she?
Yeah.
Finds out she's in the hospital or like she's ill. And he goes to visit her. And he sits with her, you know? Like, that's
Yeah, there's loads of cool stories about it.
so many. So, I guess I heard recently in the interviews where Andrew talks about you, he says that like Tristan, mental fortitude inside jail, he just didn't give a shit.
Mental fortitude's part of life, man. I can't be the guy who crumbles and breaks down and cries.
So in
because-
jail you were chilling.
Well, it's not chilling. It's like this. All right, so I was in jail for 92 days, right? If I hadn't been mentally strong, I would have been crying and smacking my head against the wall and screaming and panicking for 92 days. But I still would have been in there 92 days.
would've
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have changed my
Nothing.
circumstance. There's a time for panic. There's a time for
True.
rash decision making. There's a time for crying even, if it's applicable to your situation. That would have benefited me precisely 0%. So no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put a smile on my face, wave at the guards every day, give them a nod, ask them how they're doing, do my push-ups, and just continue being me. Like, I'm never going to break down.
But
And that's what they want.
So you were not always like this though. This is something that it grew over time of training and.
Yeah, I think it's my personality is developed, obviously. You know, it took me I learned a lot of hard lessons in life.
hard not.
So I think that the people who threw me in jail certainly they underestimated who I was and where I was from. Maybe they thought I was some, I don't know, spoiled rich boy who'd never suffered any adversity or any hardship in my life, and they're going to throw me in jail and I'm going to panic and sign a false confession or something.
And you're like, this is my day-to-day life. and
Yeah,
like,
well,
wars.
they're trying to send me back to jail now. Fucking send me. Send me. Anyway, send me to jail, because if you send me to jail, now you have to tell the world the evidence against me.
And there's nothing.
The evidence is stupid.
There's
And
nothing.
look, chat logs where I said that my ex-girlfriend is my slave as a joke. That's the evidence against me.
Really?
That's what's in the official file. So the BBC, you have to understand, BBC documents came out recently, and a bunch of new articles came out saying Tristan talks about his ex-girlfriend being a slave, and he talks about enslaving women, and he says, oh, this bitch is my slave. This is a big bombshell. And I'm like, no. This is a tiny splash of nothing, because if the BBC, who hate me, right, after 1.5 years of investigation, after throwing me in jail, after investigating every single part of my life, they make this indictment saying this is why Tristan's guilty. And the BBC get their hands on it and they read it. And the worst is, did I talk about buying people, selling people, transporting people, making money from people?
One joke.
Is there even $1? No, the big bombshell is that I said a girl is my slave once. Well, if me joking that a girl is my slave is proof that I actually own slaves, keep in mind I'm half black, I'm the descendant of slaves. So what I refer to a girl as a slave once. I did say it. That's a real conversation. But that's proof
Is that a human trafficker?
I'm a slave owner? Like, the fact that that's the biggest thing they took from the file is actually very embarrassing. It just goes to show how weak the
If the
evidence
girl
is.
was
Yeah.
upset about that, she would have come forward and said,
Oh, and she's not. She told the police I'm a wonderful man. I've never committed a crime. The person who I was actually referring to said I'm a wonderful person. I've never
they're
committed
like, no,
a crime.
shut up.
Yeah, no. They don't want to put that in the file. They don't want to put it on TV. Of course not.
Crazy.
Of course not.
It's honestly crazy the amount of corruption, you know, and like, I mean, obviously like the Romanian police are trying to do their job, but like,
Look, the Romanian police force is full of very good people. The judiciary and the judges, again, very good people. Even the organization that keeps screwing me, DCOT, is full of some very good people, and they prevent very serious crimes, and they keep the streets safe.
It's very safe.
However, there are certain individuals within that organization who do not care about the truth. They do not care about fair. They
aren't
do not
the same
care
as
that
us.
innocent people are on the street. They don't care if you go to jail and you're innocent. They care about their careers, how much money they can take from you, how big of a trophy they can make out of you.
How
They're
much
going to
money?
cut your head off and put it on their shelf to say, I got Tristan Tate. Got me with what? It doesn't matter that I'm not a criminal. That's all they care about. These people are singularly focused. And again, that's why I describe them as evil. These are evil people.
you spoke about Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
I'm sure you read his books and stuff. What do you-
Meditations,
yeah. What do you think about him, and what do you think about the book, man? The way the guy talks, like, or the way he writes, and it was his private journal. He was not even writing it for anyone else.
Yeah, and it's crazy that all these thousands of years later, people are still reading it. What I would
Millions of
say is,
copies.
I just think that books like that need to be propagated and read more in schools. I mean, I know people read their Shakespeare and stuff, but now if you look at the books they're reading in American schools,
Gay.
books about transitioning your gender and stuff, I'm like, well, that's not what people should be reading. People should be reading books that actually, teach you something about how to think as a man, how to actually think, not how to regurgitate what you've been told.
there's only like 1.5 year difference between you and Andrew's age, right?
Yeah.
You know, usually that causes a lot of like arguments and stuff. And I've seen the relationship you guys have, you know, off camera in restaurants, and the way that you guys have this relationship. Like, how have you guys built that relationship? And like, let's say I have a brother and I want to build a relationship with him. How does that work?
Well, you just have to understand that in life you can't do it alone. And you have to form some sort of team if you're going to get anywhere. You have to have good men around you and good friends around you. Every king had generals. Every soldier had the soldier to his left and right. You know, every single person who's won any great battle or any great victory or any great moral victory didn't do it by himself. He had other people with him. So if you're born with a man and you have exactly the same blood, exactly the same interests, the same last name, you have to be fighting for the exact same things. You can go your separate ways if you like. If you really hate your brother, if you really hate members of your family, I understand. But I don't see who else there was in life, especially many years ago when I didn't know anyone, to team up with. So we've just always been a team, and we've never even thought about it, never planned it. It just naturally happened. I think that's what God made brothers for.
I think your dad, I guess, had a lot of impact on that.
You know, not as much as people think, because my father didn't have too many good people around him, and my father didn't have a brotherly relationship like we had. I think that's interesting. I think that's just proximity, being, you know, going through hardship together, being in the exact same crappy situations together, you know, celebrating our success together. It just formed us into this friendship that, you know, lots of people try to emulate and lots of people try to copy, and I really hope that they do, because I think more brothers should be like us.
Yeah, I'm a younger brother, and when I see you, I see like you have as a younger brother. A lot of younger brothers, it hurts the ego to think of him as an older brother, to give that respect.
Well, I don't understand why you can't be proud of your brother and his achievements.
Exactly.
Let's say, I mean, okay, our businesses are all shared, but let's say I only made $1 million a year and Andrew made 10. Cool. Well, I'm still successful. Why shouldn't I be in a position where I'm like, great, my brother makes $10 million a year, you know? All of our incomes are the same, but he's a more successful kickboxer than me, for example. Oh, I'm the 2-time European champion, that's it. Andrew's the 4-time world champion. Everyone's like, oh, are you jealous? My brother's the 4-time world kickboxing champion. Why the fuck would I be upset by that fact? I'd be upset if I was the 2-time European kickboxing champion and my brother was a fat, lazy fuck who never did any training. That would upset me.
That's true.
The fact that he's pushed himself and he's surpassed me in that realm, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you say, I guess, and I don't know the one saying this, but what did you say about someone who says like the Tate brothers kind of promote materialism?
I think there's a healthy amount of materialism in the world. I think there's a saying, there's only so much wealth a man really needs, the rest is just for sharing. And yeah, we promote materialism, but the people who will come after us are people who cannot do anything for anybody. So yes, that car cost me $660,000. Fine. I've also donated more than that this year in charity to help feed hungry people.
Millions. I saw the videos. No, crazy.
So yeah, millions and millions.
You can go TatePledge.com. Look at the videos. You'll see they're wearing Tate brothers on the back of their shirt, helping people who can't see, blind people in Africa, giving them eye surgery, like very specific operations. Yeah, man, poorest parts of the world, the parts that are not glamorized to help. You know, people want to help. A church burns, and no offense to churches, I love churches, but a church burns, everyone wants to donate money, and then people in Africa can't even see. Yeah, and you guys are the ones supporting them.
Well, it's like you know, so the people who will attack me for materialism aren't people who can do anything good themselves. It's just a way of trying to hurt me. Yes, I like fast cars. Shoot me. I like them. They're great.
It's your passion.
So I'll spend millions of dollars on a car. But at the same time, the person who will say, oh, those are millions of dollars you spent on the car, you should have spent it helping people. That person makes $25,000 a year and helps precisely nobody, ever. They don't help anybody. They don't do anything good for anybody. I was once playing a thing on Twitter. I said, everyone, send me your favorite GoFundMe pages. If I like it, I'll donate $1,000. So I like this one, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I was just donating random thousands to these GoFundMe pages.
Yeah.
And obviously there's some idiot, just like, oh look, he only donated 1,000 to a page that needed 50,000. Only 1,000 to him, that's nothing. And I'm like, to you, to the person I'm helping, it's a lot. True. And I was just handing out these thousands like people hand out dollar bills, you know.
And they weren't discredited. In fact, they should be telling you, well done.
There's always.
If they actually cared, they'd be saying, Tristan, you did well, keep doing it.
Or they say, why are you showing off your charity? Okay, I have a counter argument to that. When the war broke out in Ukraine, and a bunch of orphans and women and kids were coming across the Ukrainian border, I was driving up there with food and coats and shoes and all this stuff. And I drove up there and I posted the videos. Yeah, myself, personally, 7 times. What? And I posted the videos on my Instagram, on my old Instagram. And when I did it, people were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You should just go and help. You shouldn't be showing off." But because I did it, hundreds of other young men in Romania went and copied me.
Wow.
So I'm
It's a
trying
trend.
to inspire others to do the same thing. So when they say Tristan Tate's giving $10,000 to this cause, and I share the donation and I share the link, say give what you can, I'm inspiring other people
Trend, yeah.
to do the exact same thing. What I don't do is I do not exploit people. When I was at the Ukrainian border, you can watch all the videos. I don't show one refugee. I don't show one of the women and kids coming across. I don't wave a camera in their face and say, "Hey, look, I got
you
some
happy?
stuff."
Yeah.
No, zero. I didn't show anybody. I just showed my car full of supplies, driving up there, driving back with the empty car, because I'm trying to inspire people to do the same thing without embarrassing people
Yeah.
and without taking advantage of people.
Getting
or
reaction.
trying to step on them to try to get myself. I'm already rich enough. I'm already famous enough. I don't
Yeah.
need some charity video to go viral. But I'm trying to inspire the world to do the same thing.
That's true. I guess now that you just got released from house arrest, you think that's like a good sign that like things are going in the right direction, or does it not mean anything?
Yeah, look, it's a very good sign. On Twitter,
Alhamdulillah.
there was a bunch of idiots who saying, "Oh, they're definitely guilty because 10 years ago they made this joke on the internet." Look, the judges aren't listening to the people on
nonsense.
Twitter. The judges are looking at the actual evidence against me. And when the best judges in this country are looking at the evidence file, is Tristan Tate a human trafficker? Reading the entire thing and saying, "Okay, release him from jail. Okay, now release him from house arrest." And they're releasing me further and further. That means things are moving in the right direction. So it's only the judges whose opinions I care about. When someone on Twitter says I'm guilty, I don't give a shit. Because
Yeah.
they're not judges, and they don't know Romanian law,
Yeah.
and they don't know anything.
That's interesting. You spoke about your dad. I actually, this was so interesting for me to think about. Usually, because your dad was not so present in your life growing up, you know, obviously he had his chess games all around the world. He was not that present when you were growing up. Usually that ends up with the child resenting their father. But I feel like in your case, how does it work that you're not resentful to him for not being there
well,
as much?
one, my dad was busy and he had his own shit to do. Two, he made sure I learned all the important lessons about being a man that he had to teach me. And he was not a perfect person, and he was not a perfect man. But everything important that he knew that I needed to know about being a man, including, fuck it, son, you're on your own for a little while, you know?
If you needed that.
I feel like he taught me. So there are people out there who knew him or didn't know him or have read about him who will try to fault him as a person. I'm not trying to say he was a perfect person. I'm trying to say he was an amazing father.
Yeah.
Because you can't argue with results. When you look at where me and Andrew are, again, regardless of what people on Twitter think, we have completely clean criminal records. We're both very, very well accomplished athletes. You know, we're media personalities. We're very financially successful. We help
In
people. we
every
feed
vertical.
People. Yeah. So
Success.
in what way was my dad a bad father? In zero way, if you look at the results.
I
you
guess
know?
it's just an excuse that people use sometimes because they're not happy with their current situation. They say, "Oh, I had this dad."
Yeah, it's a crutch that people lean on.
Yeah.
It's a crutch that people lean on, and it's very easy to blame someone else. Whereas I live in a world of complete self-accountability. I think that everything good that happens to me and everything bad that happens to me is my fault, one way or another. So I'm not going to make any excuses for anything that's happened and blame anyone in my life, because I'm the master of my own destiny. So yeah,
Your mindset is, if it's bad for you, it's good for you. I feel like that's your mindset.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, going to jail was good for my mindset in a way. It's bad for my life, my finances, my family. It's bad for lots of stuff. But you have to try and pull the positives out of negative situations,
That's true.
because there is always a positive in a negative situation.
There's always a silver lining.
Yeah.
I guess this would be an interesting question for some young hustlers out there. If you had to start from life from beginning, no money, no connections, $100, you have any ideas of how you'd go about doing that, navigating it?
Well, I mean, now it's very easy. If I knew everything now that I knew back then.
No, let's say you didn't know, because you could just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'd buy Bitcoin. Yeah. But I wouldn't do anything differently. I guess to rephrase the question, what advice would I give to the young men of the world today? I would say that the world has become much harder in lots of ways, but it's also become much easier in lots of ways. I mean, me and Andrew have programs like The Real World, the online educational platform. That,
18 ways?
Yeah, 18 different millionaires teaching 18 different wealth creation methods.
Wow.
And there's a health and fitness professor in the group as well. So there's so many resources, I think, at hand for younger people. Not just resources that I have. The internet as a whole is a resource that
Information.
I didn't have when I was young. The internet was very new when I was young. I mean, I was still trying to make money in sales by making phone calls through phone books and stuff. So I feel like the world is a lot easier if you're willing to do the work and apply yourself and use the tools available to you. I think that we live in an amazing new world full of new opportunities and new ways of getting information and applying information. Just take advantage of it. It's the silver lining. Don't waste all your time on social media. Don't sit there scrolling on TikTok. If you were to tell someone in the 1950s, I have a device. It's 2023, and there's a device in my hand, and almost all of human knowledge is contained within this device.
Yeah.
I could find out anything. I can learn anything from this device. Do you think that man from the 1950s would use it to look at photos of cats or whatever people do on TikTok?
That's
or
true,
look
actually.
at girls pretending to eat digital ice cream? My point is, yeah, it's what tools do you have? You have so many more tools than I had when I was younger, and I'm not even that old yet. But yeah, take advantage of it and don't be distracted by the poison that can be propagated by the same methods. Don't be distracted by TikTok. Don't be distracted by pornography. Stay away from all of that garbage and use the tools at your disposal. And it's surprisingly easy to be successful if you do that.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities now. Anything, you can do anything.
Anything.
Like the internet you spoke about as a place to get information, but even the internet alone, amount of opportunities there are to do there. Even TikTok. If you want to use TikTok, be a uploader, be a producer.
Yeah, exactly. Be a creator and not a
Consumer.
not a consumer.
Facts.
All the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I guess if I were to ask you, when you and Andrew were growing up and making these videos, would you say that a certain aspect of it was just like playing a character? Because I understand controversy, I understand how that gets views. You don't get famous by saying the grass is green, the sky
Of
is
course
red.
not. Well, we said things in a way that's very abrasive, and we did it on purpose. And the reason we are as famous as we are is because a lot of these videos blew up. So if I were to speak in a very polite way now, I'd say, look, I pay the bills. I have the house. I treat my woman exceptionally well. You know, she has a very good life. She has all the best, nicest things that she likes.
Yeah.
So, in exchange, when I wake up in the morning, I expect her to make me a cup of coffee. I feel like it's the least she can do. I like having a cup of coffee in bed before I get up. I'd expect the woman to do that. Most people would be like, yeah, I agree. But 10 years ago, I would have said,
Make
"You
me
know what?
coffee."
I'm the fucking big boss, and I make all the money. So if I say, bitch, make me a cup of coffee in the morning, she better bring it. And I say things in an abrasive way. They mean the same thing. But if I said it in a more polite way, a lot
do
more
not get
people would
views.
agree. But it's the fact that we were polarizing. Some people hated us and some people liked us. That's actually the key to our success. So
Yes.
I didn't play a character in a way of saying things I didn't mean. I said things that I meant, but I said them in a way that I don't typically speak. Because
Right.
people watch my old videos, they say, Tristan, when did you become so well-spoken and polite and articulate? And I'm like, I've always been that guy. But I used to say things in a different way because it was funny. And plus I was speaking to what, 400 people, 500 people would see one of my videos. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
I didn't have that world-shaking
course.
impact. Because if a young boy woke up and said to his mom, bitch, make me a cup of coffee right now, and I found out about it, I'd slap him around the face and say, speak to your mother with respect.
Yeah.
But I do understand that there's content that I made when I was in my 20s where, you know, I don't sound so polite and so well informed because
You're
it was
20-year-old.
fun. I'm making videos on the internet. Let's see
Yeah.
what goes viral. It's-
No, but I think the net impact was definitely positive because even if you lured them in with a certain unpolite video, when they watch the whole long form video and the amount of information and positive stuff that you're
Yeah.
enforcing them, the amount of teaching that you tell them to go gym, to work hard, that's how you be a man. If it took you that unpolite video to lure them in to watch that video,
And I still do it today on very serious issues. So instead of saying, like most people do, hi, gentlemen, what I think you should do is you should work out an hour a day because, you know, it helps your health and being healthy is great.
Cardiovascular.
I say, take off your shirt when you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror. Are you a fat fuck? You might be. Are you a skinny fuck? You might be. If you are, fucking fix it. Because I see you as a fat fuck and the girl you want sees you as a fat fuck. So if you can't see yourself as a big fat fuck, then you fucked up.
Yeah.
So I will still speak in that way because it gets people, it lights a fire underneath them, you know?
they need the fire.
Yeah, more so than just, yeah, you should work out because it's good for you. No, I want them to take their shirts off and look at themselves in the mirror and say, do I look like a man? Or do I look like a fucking big fat piece of shit?
Yeah.
So I still do it to this day. So the tactics haven't changed. And I think it's a way of communicating my message to a very large audience.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever said anything really, really offensive. I mean, in my 20s, certainly, and the people pull up these videos all the time. I was young, just made myself a millionaire for the first time. I was living life. I used to talk about how many women I used to meet and how many women I used to sleep with and stuff. Now, if anyone asks me about my private life and my sexual life, I don't talk about it, one. Two, I'd much rather say, which is the truth, if you want women, build yourself into the best version of yourself. Be a gentleman, be polite. But, you know, I was a 26-year-old with millions of dollars. For the first time in my life, I just started to get famous. Of course, I was running around doing the shit that I was doing.
You were proud of yourself.
Yeah,
and
and as a 35-year-old man who has a daughter now, I look at my videos and I'll be like, oh, well, I said what I said. I was 26. You know, that kid speaking thinks he's funny and cool. I don't think I'm as cool and as funny as I thought I was at the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm closer to 40 than I am 30 now. But, you know, I said what I said, and I don't regret saying it because I did the best that I could do at the time.
That's
And-
what you kind of thought at the time.
yeah,
'cause you were a young
and
kid.
if it wasn't for those videos, none of you would have heard of me if I just started making videos last
true.
year when I was a well-rounded guy. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I'm from the streets. I don't come from anything. I don't have a university education. I don't have an upper-class family.
Yeah, you didn't know better.
You know, two guys from the streets
That's
make
true.
it up in the world, start making millions of dollars. Of course you're going to, talk the way that we spoke. So,
Raised by the streets.
yeah, exactly. It's the way it is.
Literally.
That's who I am. People put all these really unfair expectations on me. Like, oh, Tristan, you're 35 and stuff. You shouldn't have said those things. I'm like, yeah, but you're talking about a different person. You're talking about a 26-year-old boy,
Yeah.
not a 35-year-old man. You can't tell me what he should have said, and I can't tell him what he should have said because I didn't know any better.
If they had videos of them speaking at 25, they'd be locked for life.
Oh, yeah,
Rightfully
damn
so.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Honestly,
Especially
me, if I had videos of myself 5 years ago, oh my god.
Well, the
bro.
people attacking me have far more skeletons in their closet than I ever do. I mean, there's that BBC News reporter, Hugh Edwards, who was on the BBC saying Andrew Tate is a misogynist and he's just been arrested in Romania. I think he's a human trafficker. What was it? A few months ago, he got caught sending pictures of his bare naked ass to boys who were 17 years of
What?
age. And people say, oh, 17, that's the legal age of consent. It's 16. Yes, but here's why he's a criminal.
Unsolicited.
The international age of pornography worldwide is 18.
18.
You cannot consume pornography,
True.
produce pornography for someone under 18 or of somebody under 18. So when he's sending pictures of his pale white ass to 17-year-old boys, he is exposing minors to pornography. That, in fact, is a crime. But the BBC bury it with, oh, well, he was 17. That's the age of consent. They had a relationship. No. Why? You could... Right now, the age of consent in England is 16. If you're 18 and you have a girlfriend who's 16 and you get a naked picture of her, that's child pornography.
Yeah.
Hugh Edwards is a child pornographer and he
Yeah.
should go to jail because he broke the fucking law. Doesn't matter that it was a consensual relationship. I don't give a shit. He's actually a criminal. And
Showing
he
kids
trashed
porn.
me. He trashed me on the BBC. That I was the bad guy. These people have so many skeletons in their closet. And what did they find on me? I joked and said my ex-girlfriend was a slave once. Cool. Yeah, she'll clean the house. She's my slave. Yeah, I probably did say that. Boo-hoo. Like, that's the worst you can find after investigating me for years?
Literally.
Like, all right, shoot me. Put me in jail if you think I deserve it.
You know, I mean, that's very interesting that you say that. And you know, we see it right now, like literally in front of people's eyes. We just saw the whole Benjamin Mendy case, you
Yep.
know? And now that he's out, everyone's like, oh, poor Benjamin Mendy.
Yep.
It's happening again, though, in front of your
Yeah,
eyes.
poor Benjamin Mendy now, but there are plenty of people
At the
calling him
time?
a rapist.
Rapist.
And here's the thing. He'll be called a rapist forever.
Just say the story
There
for
will
those
be,
who don't
there
know.
will be, Benjamin Mendy was a football player who was accused of rape by, was it one or multiple women?
I don't know.
I think it was one in particular.
Probably one, yeah.
And in a court of law, they found that he was not guilty. He was innocent. But he lost his career. He lost his ability to
His
play
whole
football.
life.
He lost his entire life. He
2
lost
years of
income.
his life, his
Yeah.
income. He can
Fighting
never go
this
back.
case. And now it's like, okay, all right,
Got
you're not a
fired.
rapist, fine. And the mob just moves on to attack someone else, like me. And when it comes out that Tristan Tate is in fact not a human trafficker, no one's going to care about the 2 years of abuse and harassment that I got.
Ah, it is what it is.
No
He's
one's going
rich.
to care. Oh, well, he's not. Oh, well, maybe he still is, but he got away with it. That's what they're going to say. So these things put a hex on your name for the rest of your life, which is scary. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm smart enough and rich enough and intelligent enough to fight off this kind of attack, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah. You know, there's something I wondered about for a long time. I was quite curious. You know how you guys have never done any drugs, right?
Never.
And me too. But what about, have you seen those drugs that are certain ones that are specifically based on performance? Let's say, for example, Adderall. Have you ever thought about what might, because you know, with the level you have right now, with something like that, with a performance,
I'm a big believer in, because people talk about drugs that are not illegal and they recommend them to me. I've heard about ayahuasca, some bullshit, like it's something that makes you see things, you do it in the jungle, and apparently it changes your perspective on life, or people take these
Helps you, it helps
Adderall,
you.
etc., saying, oh, this is beneficial.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I am smart, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm a multimillionaire. Why would I try and fuck with my brain?
That's true.
Why would I want to take Adderall? Why would I want to take ayahuasca? It doesn't matter if they're legal, doesn't matter if they're not legal. I think that there isn't a massive mindset shift or a massive brain shift that I need to go through to make my life better. So no, keep the, do them if you want at your own peril.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not broken, so I'm not trying to fix myself.
That's true, that makes sense. For some people out there who, let's say, someone's trying to find their purpose in life,
Yeah.
how do you suggest them to go about finding that purpose? Or do you think making money should be everyone's purpose, necessarily?
No, making money isn't everyone's purpose, but money makes everything about life better. I
Right.
do understand people who say, oh, my goal in life isn't making money. There are other things that I like doing. And I always say, okay, tell me what those things are.
Yeah.
And if they say, oh, I like helping people, I say, imagine how many more people you could help if you had $100 million.
That's so
If
true.
they say, well, I just want to spend time with my family, I don't want to be slaving away and making all this money. If I have enough money to live, I just want to spend time with my family and relax and raise my kids. I'm like, imagine how much time you could spend with your family and how much time you could spend with your kids if you had $100 million.
And you give them the best life.
Yeah, so money does make everything better, but no, it isn't everyone's purpose. I get people who want to live in a small cabin in the woods and fish for their food and just, live without headache and, have a wife and have their kids and just live off the land. Yeah, I completely get that. I completely get that.
Nothing against it.
I'm not going to walk up to the Bedouin people in the UAE and say, you need to make more money, bro, because they're very happy, content people. They've got their wives, they've got their kids, they've got their lifestyle, they've got their way of living, and it's very wholesome and it's very nice, and they feel richer than a lot of people here in the West.
True.
So, no, it's not everyone.
They don't need a lot to make them happy. What I've found to be very interesting, and I recently discovered this, I guess, is people talk about money, but they don't realize that how good you are at anything is how much money you make by doing it. For example, if you can sing like a mid-level singer, you can sing in a bar and earn $200 a night. But if you can sing like Adele, you can go sing in a stadium and make millions. So when when I was a kid, I thought I was an amazing footballer. But when I decided to see how much money I could make by playing football, I realized, okay, you know what, I'm not that good at football.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix of talent and it's a mix of marketing as well.
Yeah.
There are some people who aren't very talented who make a lot of money doing various things.
But wouldn't you say they're good at something?
Marketing
some
themselves.
aspects, yeah.
Because I said this to one kid. I said, you shouldn't waste your time playing video games. And he hit me with this stupid response. He went, PewDiePie plays video games. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, PewDiePie is not a video game player.
He's a skill.
PewDiePie is a presenter. He
Entertainer.
is a presenter. He's an entertainer. He's charismatic. He's smart. He's sharp.
Funny.
He's funny. He's a comedian. You can play video games just as well as him, and you will be poor forever. It's
That's
not
true.
about his video game playing ability. It's about how he markets himself. So yeah, self-marketing is his talent.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yeah. But people want to see the easy thing he does.
Yeah, exactly. And people want to make cop-outs for their lazy behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, I play video games because, he makes millions playing video games. I'm like, yeah, there are people who make millions doing all sorts of shit. But these are the elite of the elite at what they do, and they also have a bunch of other skills that people don't have.
Yeah. You see, sorry to keep moving around the subjects a bit ADHD, but do you see a lot of, let's say, violence in jail or rape or fights?
There is a lot of violence in jail, but, and this is a misconception, my haters will say stupid things to me like, oh yeah, enjoy jail, don't drop the soap. I'm like, jail works the same way all around the world. And it works in this following way. When the 6'4", 17 stone, it's about 107 kilogram man walks into the jail cell, they don't think, let's fuck with this guy. They think, I hope this guy isn't gonna fuck with me. You know what I mean?
True.
So if you show people respect, someone like me who's capable and can defend himself and stand up for himself is always gonna be fine. And I think in most jails in the world. So
Interesting. If I were to ask you, Tristan, I'm about to get married.
yeah.
What advice would you have for me if I could ask you like 3 questions? What should every person ask a potential spouse? 3 questions.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna get married, good for you, but it depends on the woman that you're marrying.
Yeah.
You have to know, my view on men and women has gotten me into a lot of trouble, so I'm going to explain this in a very articulate way without using any bad language so nobody can possibly attack me. I believe that men are born completely valueless, completely worthless. They're only worth anything to their mother and their father. And men need to create something great out of their lives. Men need suffering and hardships and struggle and experience to build themselves into the man they want to become. Whereas I think women are a lot more perfect than men are. I think that women are born with so much value, even just, I mean, if you get a beautiful woman, she's one of the most valuable people in the world by default. Yeah, so I feel like men need to build themselves into something beautiful. Women need to understand what they are and not destroy themselves. So any questions you could ask your previous spouse, I think knowing about her past is very important, and knowing about her intentions are very important. If she doesn't want to have kids, don't marry her. If she doesn't like the thought of being a mother, don't marry her. If she's not happy to have you provide for her and wants to go and chase her career, then say, okay, fine, maybe we'll get married in a few years when you're bored of your career. Now it's the time to have a family. I think marriage and family go hand in hand, and that's what they're for. So, yeah, know what her intentions are for the future. Know what her past is like. Nobody is perfect, of course. Nobody's past is perfect. Mine certainly isn't. But just understand that, she's going to be a good woman to you, that you're going to have no doubts in your mind if you have to go away on business for a month, that you're not going to have any doubts that she's going to be cheating or doing anything wrong. And if you're going to get married and you think she's the right girl for you, then more power to you and good luck, is what I'd say.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I'll marry her.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is so interesting because you know, arranged marriage is talked about so badly, but I'm always telling people
They
it's
work much
exactly
better.
what you would want.
They work much better than other marriages. They actually
4%
work much better.
divorce rates. only.
Yeah, 4% divorce rate. So it works because there's two families getting together, and the whole family is invested in the marriage. The whole family is invested
Exactly.
in having the man not fuck up because he'll embarrass the family, having the woman not fuck up because she'll embarrass her family, and it's a union of families. So I think it does work very well.
Nowadays it's so easy. Oh, I don't like him. Let me leave. And I get half his money. Boom.
Exactly.
Game.
No, I do think
Yeah, so
arranged marriage is very, very good, but as long as both people are happy
Of
to
course,
do it. I
it's
don't
compliant.
I don't think anyone should be
Forced.
yeah, I'd say suggested, recommended marriage.
yeah.
You know, if my daughter's 18 and my friend has a son who's 26, yeah, I think okay, it would be nice if they got married,
Yeah.
introduce them to each other, see how it goes.
That is arranged.
But if my daughter says, "Oh, absolutely, I'm never going to marry that guy," I wouldn't force her to
No,
do
no,
it.
no.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, but
if-
that's the misconception because it's not really like that.
It's
I
not.
mean, I guess it might be like for some people.
It's like recommended.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, there are parts of India where people are like really, really forced into
They see their
marriages
wife on the
they don't
first
agree.
day.
Yeah.
On the first day of marriage.
No, I think recommended marriages from families work extremely well.
Exactly, yeah. You know, we speak about a lot about Andrew and fights that he might have. Are there any YouTubers that we'd see you fighting with one day?
I only fight to defend my property, to defend my family, and to defend myself, or to defend my brother. So there are clips on the internet of me fighting.
I've seen.
You've seen. I'm not going to talk about those. That was me defending my personal property. You will see me fight if anyone tries anything stupid with me or my brother or the people I care about around me. I'm filmed everywhere I go. But
Your
in terms
property is
of,
expensive,
In
it's
terms
worth
of
defending.
yeah, in terms of professionally fighting, I think my days of professional fighting are over. I think I proved my point. I had a very good career. You know, I fought some very hard fights. I've got the broken nose to prove it. And
Your nose is broken?
yeah, 3 times. Look, it leans to this side.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm very proud of myself. Now I feel like my mission is a lot bigger than getting in the boxing ring again. I feel like I'm changing millions of people's lives. I want to keep speaking, stay out of jail, fight off these attacks that are coming to me. You know, I'm at war now. I'm at war with governments. I'm at war with police forces. I don't care about YouTubers. And plus, all these people say my name and try to get some provocative reaction out of me. I don't really know who most of these people are, and I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
But if they see me in person and they think it's going to be funny to try and slap me or hit me or push me, then you will see me fight.
Only street fight.
Only street fight.
Not in the ring. Just in the street. That's where you will show your skills. Yeah. Have you ever thought about this is a crazy question. Have you ever thought about going to a place like Yemen? Or not Yemen, any place where the visa restrictions aren't too high. And then calling all your supporters to come there. And then like having like Tate-istan is what I coined the term.
No, I have no political goals right now in that sense. I mean, I am talking about and thinking about building a Tate Center, like an area where fans of mine can congregate and meet me, because people come to this house and
Yeah.
I won't come out and meet them. You can't just go to.
course.
You might like
Oh my
Ronaldo
God.
as a footballer. You might like Jay-Z as a rapper. You can't just go to his house
No,
and
that's
expect
his
him to come and talk
private
to me.
place.
It's my private space. So I think in the future there will be a place where I will be at
Gym,
often.
and they can get better, they can improve,
Yeah.
they can learn.
And there'll be a cigar lounge, maybe a tailoring office, some of my cars around. There'll be a few things around, and I'll be there a lot. So that will happen, but not in a political way, just so my fans can get to see me in a place where they're not invading my personal space.
Yeah, I get you. That makes sense. No, but I feel like if you made that place, a lot of people, like the youth, need somewhere to go. Nowadays, where they go, they go club, they go this, you know?
Yeah,
They need like a place where they can go, exercise, learn stuff, you know?
I agree.
You
And-
talked about the tailor place. What's your infatuation with suits like, and where does that come from? And talk to us about that.
Well, they look good, don't they?
They do.
I look good in suits. I
You
mean,
look good.
everyone compliments me on suits.
Yeah, it's your thing.
I've always liked suits anyway, but when you look at normal things, if you want people to listen to what you say, you have to present yourself in a way that you look respectable. So when you look at a lot of the protests nowadays, even
Yeah.
whether it be the Black Lives Matter protests, where they're all dressed like shit, burning buildings down, or the gay rights parades,
Yeah.
even though they already have all the rights they need in the West, and they're doing these parades anyway, and they're dressed like degenerates or in their underwear, they're wearing strap-on
Crazy stuff.
dildos. I made a joke actually. I said Martin Luther King never would have got to where he was if he did his protests wearing hot pants and rainbow shirts, which is true.
That's true.
Martin Luther King and all of his supporters, poor black men in the United States with no money, would march out in suits. Google the Million Man March. Look at how those men are dressed.
Classy.
And when millions of men present themselves in that way,
Yeah.
we want rights, we want a voice. You're more likely to listen and think, okay.
They look sophisticated,
Yeah.
they're presentable.
Exactly, so present yourself well in the world. Obviously, I'm at home, so I'm dressed like shit right now.
No, this is our home outfit. It's still
Yeah.
pretty nice for a home outfit.
So I'm
You know how
dressed That's
No,
normal.
it's-
But yeah, no, I like to present myself very well because people take you more seriously.
That's
I tell young men, say, oh, if you just had $1,000, what would you do? I'd say I'd spend $900 on a suit, and then I go and introduce myself to people wearing that suit.
So the thing is, they say dress for where you want to be, not for where you are actually.
Yes. So I think a lot more young men need to be dressing smarter. A lot of these fashion trends, you know, with the gold teeth and the diamonds in your mouth and the pants down to here and the, you know, wearing jerseys and
Yeah.
shit. I don't like it. I personally don't like it. And obviously everyone can dress how they like, but I don't like it. I think men should wear suits.
All right, Tristan, thank you so much for this lovely cigar chat. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
This
My
was
man.
completely unplanned. I just
Unplanned,
sat down and started hitting you
spontaneous.
with questions. But
Sorry about it,
I'm
bro.
always ready, bro. I'm
Thank
born
you,
ready.
bro. I appreciate it. You know, the Tate brothers, they always support me. They see me as a young hustler, and I always respect the fact that, you know, people ask me, what do you think about the Tates? I'm like, these guys have done nothing but help me for no reason. So I love these guys. So thank you, bro. You
Yeah.
changed my life, bro.
Cool.
I appreciate you, man.
Make sure you follow and support. Subscribe to his channels.
Ah,
Watch all his
Mahmood Show.
content. Yeah.
Thank you. See you. Peace.